The Little Dragon and the Secret of Lost Courage. Far, far away, in a valley more magical than any you've ever imagined, there lived a very special little dragon named Spark. Now, this valley was home to many dragons who could breathe huge flames and fly through the biggest storms without a care in the world. But Spark was a bit different. His flame was no bigger than a birthday candle, and heights made his tiny wings tremble. Instead of soaring with the others, he spent his days hiding behind the sparkling crystal caves, watching his friends fly high above. "Why can't I be brave like them?" he would whisper to himself, his heart full of wishes. But everything changed on one very special morning. As Spark was curled up in his favorite hiding spot, something caught his eye, a sparkle that was different from all the crystal sparkles he knew so well. There, nestled between two glowing crystals, was an ancient scroll. His heart beating fast, Spark carefully unrolled it with his tiny claws. The secret of lost courage he read in golden letters that seemed to dance on the paper. The map showed a path leading all the way up the highest mountain in the valley, through the mysterious whispering woods and the enormous canyon of echoes. Could this be the answer to all his wishes? Spark looked at the map, then at the mountain, then back at his safe, cozy cave. His heart was doing flip-flops in his chest, but something inside him whispered, maybe, just maybe, this is your chance to find your courage. Taking a deep breath, Spark took his first step away from the cave, then another, and another. The other dragons could hardly believe their eyes. Was that really Spark, walking toward the mountain? Just then, a beautiful butterfly with rainbow wings fluttered down beside him. "Hi, I'm Flutter," she said with a friendly smile. "Would you like some company on your adventure?" Sometimes, you see, the bravest thing we can do is let others help us along the way. As Spark and Flutter entered the whispering woods, the trees seemed to come alive. Their leaves rustled and moved, creating sounds that at first made Spark want to run away. "Shh, whisper, whisper," the trees seemed to say. Flutter nestled closer to Spark, and together they listened more carefully. And do you know what they discovered? The whispers weren't scary at all. They were messages left by ancient dragons who had been here long ago, Vesta. Keep going, little one. Believe in yourself. Every step forward is an act of courage. The woods weren't trying to frighten them, they were trying to help. Spark felt a tiny warm glow in his heart. Maybe being brave didn't mean not being scared. Maybe it meant continuing even when you are scared. And so, with his heart pounding like a drum and his tiny flame flickering brightly, Spark spread his wings. Flutter flew close beside him as he took off from the ground. Up they went, higher and higher. His wings were shaking, but they kept lifting him up. His tiny flame, which had always seemed so small, began to glow brighter and brighter, lighting their way through the clouds. "You're doing it, Spark," Flutter cheered. "You're really flying." Higher and higher they soared, through clouds that tickled their faces and past stars that winked encouragingly. Finally, they reached the mountain's peak. But instead of finding a magical object or a special potion, they found something quite different, a beautiful mirror that seemed to glow with its own light. As Spark looked into the magical mirror, something wonderful happened. He saw himself as he truly was, not a scared little dragon, but a brave adventurer who had faced his fears one by one. His flame wasn't tiny at all. It was perfect for lighting the way and helping others find their path. The secret of lost courage wasn't lost at all. It had been inside him all along. Flutter landed softly on his nose and smiled. "Now you see what I've seen all along," she said. "Courage isn't about being the biggest or the strongest. It's about taking one small step after another, even when you're scared." From that day on, Spark no longer hid behind the crystal caves. Instead, he used his perfect-sized flame to help other dragons find their own courage. And whenever anyone asked him about the secret of lost courage, he would smile and say, "The biggest secret is that courage is never really lost. It's just waiting for you to discover it inside yourself." And so, dear friends, remember Spark's story whenever you feel scared or small, because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is just take that first tiny step. And sometimes the biggest courage comes in the smallest packages.